Okay, we're in the develop module now. If you're looking up here, I always have this available so I can see different things really. 7200 f4 USM, so I know which lens I used. So I can see if my lenses are working okay for a start. One other thing you'll notice that these are all JPEG images, and Adobe Lightroom is designed to be a raw workflow. I use RAW from scratch, straight out of the camera. Never have anything to do with JPEGs until the very end, which is when albums are being created and the images are going off to the lab. This isn't to say that that's the way to go. JPEG shooters all over the world, some of the best people in the world, shoot JPEG in the camera and their workflow goes straight to Photoshop and they completely avoid Lightroom. But I think you'll find over the next 12 months, well, the last 12 months, everything's changing and most people are now trying to shoot RAW. Computers are faster, they can use Lightroom and they can produce amazing images because you've got an extended tonal range. You can retrieve highlight detail in dresses. It's just gets you out of a bit of a mess if you go slightly wrong on a very sunny day. Anyway, the reason I'm using JPEGs for this video, after saying I use RAW for everything, is because it makes it faster for me to show you everything. They come up on the screen quicker, and it's just so I can show you generally what Lightroom does. RAW workflow, if I clicked on that image, it would take a few seconds to render, and you'd get pretty bored. So it means we can flick through the images and work on, oh, there's an image we know well. So that's why we're in JPEG, but generally it's a RAW workflow. Anyway, let's get back to it. This is a portfolio from a couple of years ago I've just pulled in. We just use this as a screensaver, so that we're at wedding shows people can see some of the images we do. There's various different things, there's promotional slides in there as well, but we won't worry about that. The library module is for looking at your images. People tend to work on their images in the develop module, but the library module is really useful because as you go through, say you were starting at a wedding or any shoot, you could highlight images, and if it's a pic you can flag it. Sorry, wrong one. It's because I never use it. I use P for pic, so you can pick it, flag it as a pic, and as you go along you can pick individual images and you'll notice a little flag comes up in the corner. So I'm going to pick a few of my favourite images just at random. There you go. And then you go over to the filter and you click the flag and it will only show you the images that you've picked, which is good because you can go through a whole wedding very quickly. You can use an arrow key and then you pick and you miss and you like that one, you pick it, like that one, I do like that shot, and then you pick it and you carry on going and pick that one. When you've picked all your shots you can just press the flag and view the images you want to work on. So we're going to look at one of these images, I don't know which one. Let's have a look at this one. It's a JPEG again, so we haven't got everything that RAW's got, but you know, it's still a good file. It's not a massive file because, as I say, I'm trying to show you very quickly, so they're small JPEG files, but we can still work on it. We can go into the develop module and we can just have a little play around here. You've got little arrows, just click those up so we can see everything we're doing all at the same time. You'll notice the histogram at the top, which is really useful with Lightroom. You can see this histogram was in your camera, you'll know it well. If you don't know it, come on one of our courses and I'll show you exactly what the histogram is and how to use it on your camera, so you don't have to worry about your images so much when you get into Lightroom and Photoshop. Most 95% of the work should be done in camera, and Photoshop and Lightroom, I would say Lightroom is about 4% for us, and then Photoshop is the last 1% just to tweak them. But most of the work you can do in camera. But let's take a look at this one. We can see the tonal range. All I want to do with it really is just increase the exposure slightly. I'll exaggerate this so you can see it on the screen. You've got exposure control. If that was a raw file and you got it slightly wrong, you can just put it right with the exposure. So we'll just tweak it up, and you can see at the top there the histogram is moving, and you can actually click on that point there, and that's your highlight detail. Just like when it flashes on your camera screen, it's just blowing out. It's blown out completely there, so you just we'll have it about there. You then work down through the module. We can recover that highlight, by the way, and we can increase the exposure, and we can recover the highlight, and we can increase the exposure and recover the highlight. And now we've boosted the midtones. Two of the most used tools, exposure and recovery, and that is pretty much how we get images that glow. A lot of people do this. They just increase the exposure, it blows out, and the rest detail's gone. They don't worry about it, but then they've got nice midtones. Key is recover the highlight detail, because everybody wants to see the dress detail. It's very important. Okay, that's just a few tips. I'll go on to the next video because we don't want to make them too long. Thanks a lot.